All right, welcome back to Spiritual Disclosure. I'm your host, Dean Ryan, joined by my wonderful co-host. Let me reintroduce everybody here. We have Dr. Lynn Orwick. Say hello to all your fans and family. Maybe your family's watching.
Well,
We have the wonderful author pilot, Michael Orwick.
thank you.
And last but definitely not least, or she would throw me off the show, is multi-dimensional expert and beauty queen to many. These great fashionista, prom queen, Sarah Adams. Yeah, show it off,
Hats
show it.
on.
Do the
I got
catwalk,
these
do the
elegant
catwalk.
hats
You
on.
know, they've got my
So
leg
it-
and your leg. I mean, you know, what? I don't know, we're losing viewers or something.
Speak-
Are you putting your leg down?
No, I would do the crossover, but I just can't make it work like you
Speaking of
guys.
leg, is that your leg I feel right now? Oh, that's the table, excuse me. Anyways, I want to get right into it. You know, we're going over all these studies here on the show today. There's a new study that's showing that young people today prefer to be single, not date, and not even engage in sex because of all the stress that comes with engaging in
A relationship?
in relationship and human interaction,
Wow.
because we're so used to texting and language has gone down and the stress of dating. So my question, let's start with Dr. Orwick here. What was dating easier back 30 years
A
ago
long time
than
ago.
it
I
was
just put
today?
it.
Because it seems to be so complicated today and so short-sighted. And you can know somebody and everything about them by clicking on their info online rather than organically getting to know
Getting to
someone.
know someone.
So therefore, the anxiety of engaging in sexual relations is much more costly maybe than it was organically 30, 40 years ago.
Well, yes, I mean, there are people, and we've seen movies about this, that are dating only online. And they think
Never
they're in
met
love,
themselves.
never even met each other.
Right.
And they
Right.
think they're in love with this person. And they don't even know, sort of like that movie Ready Player One, where they all take on some
A facade.
a facade or character of themselves. And, you know, this big tough guy could be a small black woman, which is what, and so
Well, what
when
movie was this?
Ready Player One.
Oh, okay, I was thinking of some.
No.
Where they're
It's
in
a
the
virtual
video,
reality.
They're in the
It
virtual
was a
reality.
virtual
They're their
reality
avatar.
game.
They have an avatar.
Mhm.
But right, and so you're creating a persona instead of actually relating to another person in that way. Don't you think that's
Sure.
that's you know, that you want to really touch the person and get to know them.
Right, I mean, Sarah, you've dated, I mean, in your life.
So I
Have
think
you?
what? Oh my God, you guys. Okay, so one, there's so much disconnect now in society. Like there's even in
that's the
friendships.
buzzword.
That's the buzz-
That's
Even
the
in
buzzword.
friendships, there's even in friendships.
In
like there's-
friendships, yeah.
Just forget relationships.
Mhm.
Talking about friendships, there's like no trust. There's so many issues. We can't even connect to our friends. Then we try to
Why are you
connect
looking
to.
at me? Again, it's
We
just
try to
like
connect.
yesterday, it's trying to convey the message.
We-
Sorry, continue.
We try to connect in relationships.
Sure.
We can't even connect in friendships. And for me, at least, I think that you have to get to know a person. You need to spend time and get to know that person.
More than online.
Because
how
we've
can
seen
you
we've
trust
seen
somebody?
catfish. The catfish where people are in relationships and that's not even the people that you think on the online profile. And this is all happening and people get really upset that we're dating this fake person, you know, that had the fake profile. But you know what? That would happen
Right.
to you if you actually got out and
And-
learned how to connect to others.
Right.
That's
And-
hard to do for some, because they've been so in tune into the matrix, getting out, they'd rather not even deal with the stress from what these studies show and just be single. I believe on 4chan they call them incels.
Wow.
Incels that rather be celibate and not even deal with the opposite sex.
Wow.
But
Everybody's getting mad at each other. Men and women are getting mad at each other.
But
There's betrayal, there's cheating, there's lies. And you know, everybody needs to kind of start to connect again.
Yes.
And you need to start practicing connection, whether it's to friends or family. And until you can connect to them, you cannot connect in a relationship.
Michael, you've been married before, and when you got back into the dating world,
He stalked her.
When you were stalking somebody back into the dating world, how did you stalk your prey? Was that casually dropping by the workplace?
Well, I had my toupee on at the time.
The toupee, yes. Right.
Dating after a divorce is challenging.
I would imagine.
And I've said, I have one of my degrees is in psychology, and I've said for a long time that if you really don't take a lot of time to self-reflect and look at
That's a good
yourself,
Right.
you're just going to replicate the same lessons, because this is a lesson planet. You're just going to replicate all of the same lessons just with another lovely lady of some type, and they're going to play very similar patterns that you did before. And I think in both Lynn's and my instances, we both got divorced around 1998. We were single for 12 years, give or take, and
But working on ourselves in a different way.
it was at a
yeah.
time frame where I did my greatest level awakening and was working on myself nonstop for all of that length of time. Lynn and I knew each other from almost that exact time frame. Back around 98 was when we met, but we never dated for 12 years. She was with other people. Her choices, what can I say?
Really?
But she was
Other
with
people.
Shut in him.
Other people.
Shut in him.
No,
But,
that wasn't it.
we
But we
had a-
were working on ourselves,
Mhm.
and I wasn't ready to get remarried.
Yeah, it's a big step.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna just jump
But it's
back
important
into
to
it.
recognize, from my research, the background information, the soul connection, and in essence, really the soul contract that two people would have to be together, to have a family, or for whatever soul experience that is, that's a huge part. And you could
You can't
say
do it on the phone.
all you want, but yeah, you can't
Well,
do it on the phone, and
You know, I'll tell you, I'm learning that this is my intervention, I guess. It's starting to feel like, because to relate to the incels in a way, because we're speaking to them, they might be out there in the audience, my following.
Maybe try something different.
There's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of expectations that go into it. And, the truth is, it's a tough economy for some.
You should not
Get
be
in the
dating.
workplace.
You should not be,
Me-
people should
me?
not be dating anybody until they've done inner work, because you're bringing
Right.
all of your baggage, whether it's insecurities, whether it's no self-love, you're bringing that with you, and like he said, you're gonna get somebody who reflects
Well-
that. And it's nothing bad, it's the universe saying, listen, look at yourself, there's something wrong. And when you're dating, you're either gonna come from down here or up here. When you come from down here, there's gonna be lying, cheating, everything else. When
Right.
you come from up here, there's gonna be
Well,
soul connection and
Let me
real
ask you
love.
this, where does spirituality, the connection, where does that come in place? Into dating, does that rule out one-night stands at all?
I
Or
generally-
hookups, as
I-
the kids call it?
I think when you want to date somebody that you should not sleep with them right away, you should take time to get to know them. I myself, I had, for the first person that I dated, when I lost my virginity, I made that person, I know this sounds bad, you guys are gonna laugh, but I made him wait a year. And even
Wow.
with Ben, I made him,
12 months.
with my boyfriend now, he waited a long time. He had to help me with charity work. Remember, I had him like doing all of this like work to help others, and he had to prove to me that he was a good guy. And I had to see that we actually connected, and that's where I decided to date him. But I gave it time, and I think you should wait at least 3 months. At
3
least
months?
3 months, because you get
What
to
about
see.
3 weeks?
No,
Okay.
3 months, because
3
you get to
days.
see the.
3 days.
You get to see the
Is that how
mass.
long it took, Michael?
People-
3 days for Michael.
no, well,
He's confessing right now.
when Lynn and I got
3
engaged,
days. 3 days.
when Lynn and I got
Wow.
engaged,
I didn't.
we got
We're learning
engaged
something
after
new
1
here.
week.
1 week.
1 week before the soul connection,
I
We
had
knew
a
each
knowing
other.
this. We
They
knew
knew
each other for 12 years.
12 years.
and then 3 days after
We
the
had
soul
never
connection.
dated.
Mhm.
And for whatever reason, I asked, we were over lunch, and we had studied all kinds of different healing modalities together over the 10-year time period.
Mhm.
And we
We
would
run
go
in
to-
the same
we would-
group,
We would
so,
go to
you
lunch
know.
every once in a
Right.
while and compare notes or whatever.
I knew he was a good guy.
And she was kind of at a quiet time in her dating
You did it
side,
yourself.
and no, we were out to lunch, and I said, well, why haven't we ever gone out? And over that next week, I would see different things in dream state and different meditations, and I had a full knowingness.
Some call that fantasies.
It actually, because
Studies show.
Because I could tell it wasn't something I had manipulated, I knew it wasn't. If it had been just a really fun dream, that's another matter, but
You know,
you have a knowingness, and the knowingness
Sure.
comes through the body, it doesn't come through the brain.
And you have to be in touch with that knowingness, and that's really where a lot of people, I think, they're not in, you know, our
Not in
whole
touch.
world is external right now, and this part is
And you guys have been married how many years now?
going on 9.
We're 8.5, this will be our 9th anniversary this year.
oh wow, well, you know,
But what I want to continue on before we go to the next segment and say this, that when people go out on a date, they kind of put on their best front.
Right.
You know, it's like their best clothes. You're not seeing the crappy clothes they wear every day in the closet. Little sweats and stain
Oh,
Just a
yeah.
bit of a facade.
Yes, it is. So
Yeah.
they don't take that down until I think 3 months in. 3 months
Really?
in. And you know a person really wants to be with you if they are willing to stay there for 3 months. Especially for women. I have all these girlfriends and they're like always calling me like, can you read this person? I'm like, that person isn't worth 2 minutes of your time. Make that person prove to you that they want to be in your life. Us
Right.
women, we need to make men step it up and prove that they want to be in our life before we give them anything.
so dating Sarah Adams is a challenge.
Very much.
That's what we're learning.